Hi, I'm Chuck, and today I turned a box out of a piece of red maple burl I had here at the house. I did want to keep the natural edge of the box intact, so what I did was I cut a socket into the top of the lid where I could mount it to the lathe when I hollowed it out and fitted it to the rest of the box. And then I went through with another piece of burl and I created a plug to insert back into the hole that we had created. I thought it came out pretty good. I picked up this section of red maple burl from a local sawmill. I've been able to turn it into several pieces for some upcoming projects. So you really don't have to be a diamond cutter to get some good pieces out of that piece of burl that I just showed you. Including the box that we're going to do a video on. I've got a nice little bowlette here that I'm going to give to my dad for M&Ms, and then several other pieces that I'll use for projects down the road. So thanks for watching, and let's get on to making this box. All right, I've marked an approximate center to the piece of burl that we're going to turn now. And what I have is a glue block attached to my faceplate. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set that on there. You got a nice smooth coating of the epoxy here. And I just use it just because I had been doing some pins and I thought I'd make up a little bit more at the same time. What I go off and do is I've got a nail that I basically set through the hole, and that's going to be the point to find the center here. Alright, we should be all set now until it dries up for us. Alright, we're all set, and I'm going to go ahead and put the faceplate with the glue block onto the lathe. We're going to go ahead, we're going to chew it up, then we're going to go ahead and start to hollow it out. Now that I've got it true, I've been looking at this for a while and just really kind of deciding what I want to do with it. I was half tempted at one point to fill this with black epoxy and then kind of work around it, but I think I'm going to just try and leave it like this and see if I can just work it into the piece I'm going. I'm going to turn a socket into what's going to be the lid of the box. We'll be able to attach it to the lathe from here. And in a few steps, we'll cut a plug from another piece of the burl to fill this in. Just a little bit more, I think. All right. Excellent. I'm going to mount the piece of burl now to the chuck that I'm going to use to make the plug for the top. I'll turn it till it gets to 35 millimeters and it should fit back into the socket we just cut. All right, I know that my drive bolt's in 1 inch, so I'm going to give myself 1.25 inches. That way I know I'm safe. I've cut a shallow line into the diameter of the plug. I'll turn everything above that till I can get to 35 millimeters for a diameter so that I know it'll fit in the socket we just turned earlier. All right, I've got the handle for the top, or the knob for the top, pretty much all set. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to part the box off about 2/3 of the way up. We're going to hollow out the bottom of the box while it's still on the glue block, and then we'll part that off. Then I'm going to put the top on. I'll reverse it into an expansion chuck. We'll finish the inside of that, the outside. And then when we're all said and done, I'll use super glue. I'll put the lid back on this way. And I think it's going to come out pretty nice. I have the inside sanded to 400 now and the outside down to 200. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to part this off the glue block now, and then I'm going to actually turn it around. I'm going to put it on a chuck, then I'll finish the bottom, and then I'll do the finish sanding on the outside. So the chuck, before I put it on the lathe, alrighty. with 600 grit. I was going to stop at 400, and I don't know that I'm actually even going to see a difference, but I decided to take it up to 600. I think it looks really sharp right now, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a finish on it while I still have it on this side of the chuck before we go to the top. And I kind of hold it hard. Until I can feel that friction. It actually starts to burn my fingers. I have the top mounted in the chuck now, and I'm about ready to turn it on and start to hollow it out. And you can see it's extremely irregular, and so I've tried to be very, very careful in mounting this to the chuck to ensure that I've got pressure all the way around. I'm going to run this at a pretty slow to moderate speed. I'm going to wear a face shield and just try and be very, very careful because you can see we do have some areas where I'm just not going to get the full support of the wood as I go off to turn this. That's where I want to be. So you can see just this little ring right here, that section right there is where I'm going to just try and work that down, then we'll try for the fit. We're through with the top of the box now. We've got a nice snug finish with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off the top of it. I'm going to reinsert that plug that we made earlier into the top, and then our box will be finished and it'll be ready for display.